Ivor, welcome back to Wealth Talk today.
Hi Christian, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really, really good, thank you. Now, I know you've already appeared on Wealth Talk earlier in your wealth building journey, but a new feature that we're introducing to Wealth Talk now is just a spotlight on some of our members and the great work that they're doing within the community. And you've had a really great start to 2021. In fact, you've been on fire pretty much since you joined Wealth Builders, Ivor. So we're going to hear about some of those things, and in particular, we're just going to really walk through the process together, right, and see what those
Yeah,
steps are and how they all tie in together, and you can't really skip any of it. And so let's begin then. I guess back at the beginning, for everyone, there's a reason why.
yeah,
Some people have a stronger catalyst than others, but was there a point when you sort of decided, right, I need to do something about this?
yeah. I think my reason why started off probably a couple of years ago now when my old manager he'd been working for within the financial institution for a number of years, and he showed me his pension figure, and that really gave me a bit of a kick because my pension was nowhere near his figures, and so that was the first start of the reason why to start to realise, well, if I continue doing on the same path, then I'm not going to be able to survive as I get to a certain age. Um, so that was the first reason why. The second part was when we kind of got into the first lockdown, and I started to think, well, I can sit back and do nothing in lockdown, or I can really push on and use this to my advantage. So I took the latter and decided that that was the starting point for me to start my looking at the reason why do I want to be successful and financially independent, and then I overlaid that with the journey for my family, and I really want to make sure that the kids are also on that path. So it's kind of a mixture of making sure we're okay in later on in life for myself and my wife, but almost more the case of my drive now is to make sure the kids have got a really good starting point, and they understand how to wealth build as well.
Yeah, yeah. So step two then is what we call the wealth gap, and that's really the five levels of wealth. So at the beginning, you've got to get clear on where you are, where you want to get to, right? So talked about those five levels. So financial insecurity is where 95% of the population are, relying on one source of income. It's normally a job or, in other cases can just be a business, but it's always risky when you're relying on one. So the only way to change that, of course, is to build asset income, right? So you started that journey. So did you set your targets and, what levels are you kind of moving towards at the moment, Ivor?
Yeah, so mine's quite easy because I was in the 95%, so I was at zero from reoccurring income coming in other than my day job. So that the baseline was there at zero, and it was interesting just going through the program to start really working out because in your own head you think that you need X amount of money to survive, but when you really start going through the program, what's really good is you can get really detailed on how much you really need to earn. And I've kind of set mine. It started off at quite high. It was probably 7,000, and then I really stripped it down even more. And I'm now at 4,000 is the level that I'd like to be at. That gives me some security, and that's what I'm tracking towards at the moment.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent. Then step three. So these first three steps are all kind of our sort of stage one in the process, and it's all about building confidence. It's getting that peace of mind, and one of the key elements there is making sure you're protected. And we've got the roof. We've talked about the roof process. There's also debits that falls within this as well. So just making sure you're on top of what money is coming in and going out, and then obviously making sure that you've got everything protected for yourself, for your family, and your assets. So tell us a little bit about that stage.
Yeah, the debits was a good stage for me. I didn't actually find anything out that I didn't know, and again, some people this might be really groundbreaking for them. It was actually quite nice for myself because I found out that I was doing everything correct anyway. So I had a good handle on what was coming in and what was going out. So I didn't really have to change anything. But again, that was a good tick box to at least you're on the right path. And then if we add the roof to this is where I was exposed massively. The will that we had in place wasn't sufficient. We never had anything in trust. So I would say that the roof is a really big part of wealth building, and I think where it sits in the program is just right. It's if you are starting out wealth building like myself, it's just at the right time where you can start to make sure you've got your debits and your roof protected for you to be able to start that journey.
Yeah. So we're moving through the recurring revenue roadmap. We're on stage 2 now, which is building your knowledge. So step 4 of the process is assets. So we obviously have a very unique, piece of IP, which is our 7 pillars of wealth. So how did you? Obviously, you mentioned you're already in property, but tell us about kind of the overview of those 7 areas and how you kind of decided which one you were going to focus on.
Yeah, well, I've got a natural passion for property anyway. We've been kind of sitting on the sideline for a number of years, debating whether to get into the buy-to-let market. We've never done that, but we've kind of used our own personal house to move up the ladder that way and to create residence. So property was natural for me. That was always going to be the first one that I was going to choose, and then to overlay that with our pensions. So my wife's got a final salary pension. I've got a couple of pensions, so it just felt like that was a good place to start. And then, the more you understand how to wealth build, creating a SAS pension along with the property journey, they just fit hand in hand together. So they were the 2 pillars I chose.
Yeah, and that moves us nicely into step 5, which is leverage and financial leverage that you found within your pension there to work really nicely with the property pillar. So yeah, any other points of leverage that you can think of, Ivor, that you've tapped into?
Yeah, well, I think that just the refinance, being able to tap into the finance, the equity within your main residence is really key. So that's enabled me to start the property journey.
Yeah, excellent. And step 6 then is strategy. So which strategy have you decided to focus on?
So that's probably one of the most challenging areas, I think. As you choose property, there's so many different areas, and what's really helped me is I decided to get educated, and I think that's really key for anyone that wants to invest in property as a business, as a wealth building pillar. So I invested in some training, and that enabled me to focus at the moment within the single let market, as well as HMOs is where I'm looking at. But at the moment, it's really just focusing on single lets.
Yeah, you're one step ahead of me, Ivor, because focus is the next step, right? So we're now moving into stage 3, which is building assets. So stage 3 is when you've got a plan in place. You've chosen your pillar, you've chosen your strategy, you know where your points of leverage are, you're focusing in the right direction based on your wealth dynamics, you've got your roof, all of this is in place. It's now time to focus, right? And this is where we teach the wheel of wealth. And there's 5 components, and education is that first step. So how important has the word focus been for you?
Oh, massively. You just can't underestimate once you've got a clear plan and then you've got a focus. The power and the leverage you get from that is just phenomenal for me, and I've been able to tap into that as much as possible. So, and again, I think Kevin's mentioned this before, as it's really, turning the wheel at the start is really quite difficult. It can be time consuming, but I'm finding now I've gone through these cycles, it's becoming easier.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, great. So moving into step 8, and this is results. So we send out a wealth chart to all of our members when they join, and I know we had a joke, didn't we, Ivor, because you had downloaded so many things from us that you kind of turned it into your wealth wall, hadn't you? You've got things stuck all over the place.
Yeah.
So you had the focus, and let's talk about results then. So you've had a cracking month, or a couple of months even. So what's been happening?
Yeah, so I guess the first buy to let is now generating around about 240 worth of income each month, which is great. So that's a starting point. I've just been able to refinance that first buy to let, which is allowing me to move that onto another deal. We've secured, just before Christmas, we secured a second buy to let, which will be a 3-bedroom house that we're going to convert the downstairs garage into a bedroom and a downstairs shower room. So that, again, hopefully that should produce some, that will give me around about £600-700 a month. And then on Monday, secured our third buy-to-let, similar property, where we'll do another garage conversion and again look to achieve around about similar figures. So, within a year's worth of time, I should be getting to about a third of where I need to. Marking off the chart as we say. So that's really good to have that, looking at that wealth chart every day as well. It's really good.
Yeah, well, we'll send out 2 pens with the chart, a black and a red pen, and the red pen is there to update that thermometer. So hopefully that's filled in now.
Yeah, perfect.
Good. Well, we are moving through nicely, and the final step is accelerate your way towards financial independence. So obviously there's a little way to go, and this is not an overnight process. This is a journey that for most people to move from insecurity to financial independence, will take anywhere between sort of 3 to 7 years. So in terms of getting you further forwards, Ivor, what do you see as being really important? What do you see as, the aspects that will help you to keep accelerating and building upon everything you've done already?
Yeah, I think the key there, I think what we've got within the group is the community. I think that the community is really powerful to be able to see the results of other people. Everyone's on a different stage of wealth building. And what I love about the program is, it doesn't matter what stage you're at, everyone's there to help you out. And I think the more you use the community, the more you're going to get out of the program and accelerate your wealth building journey as well.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Any other tips at all, Ivor, before I let you go? For those people perhaps who are, at the start or just not sure whether, this is the right path for them to take?
Yeah, I would say if anyone has done what wealth building is about, I think just having a structure. There's a really well laid out structure. It's easy to follow and simple steps. That's one key. If you like structure and you're not sure even how to attempt to start wealth building, then the program gives you that guidance. And then what I would like to also mention is even if you do the program and you don't get the results straight away, but if you can just action on the roof and the debits, I think that's really amazing. Just making sure that you've got whatever wealth you have protected, and just making sure you've got your wills in place and anything in trust, then I think that's a really good starting point.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ivor. I really appreciate you sharing all of that with us today, and look forward to inviting you back when you hit your next milestone.
Great, thanks a lot, Christian.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it.